So why have I called this channel Making England Good Again rather than Making England Great Again? I think in order to be great we first have to be good. We have to, I wouldn't say that we can return to previous days or that previous days were by any means ideal. I mean it was a time when, relatively speaking, England was good, when apparently some kind of integrity and standards were expected of people, and by and large the majority of the population was able to keep these up to some degree. So yes, I don't want to go back to the 1950s or anything like that. We need to go forward. The world has advanced. We need perhaps a new way, a new definition of great. So I live in England, that's why it's England. You might live somewhere else, well that's fine, it doesn't exclude you. I'm just talking about what should be my little patch of heaven. Sadly, I must say that it doesn't seem to be. I think a lot of people bury their heads in the sand. They think they can hide from it. You can have some sympathy with that point of view, but in the end it's going to catch up with them. I mean, I live in a rural area. I mean, people sort of, you know, literally take to the hills and, you know, have a house in some remote place and a bit of a small holding and try to live their own lives. And, you know, sort of like hobbits, really. That's all very nice, but they are out to get you. I'm not paranoid. I mean, you know, if you've got a few chickens, they want to know about them now, and if you don't tell them, they're going to fine you. If you need to shoot pigeons, you need a license. For everything that you do, you need a license. They're not just going to leave you alone, and they're not going to leave your children and grandchildren alone. Now, another reason for wanting England to be good again is, back in the day when I was at school, we read George Orwell's Animal Farm, and basically they get rid of the big bad farmer and all is well at first, but gradually the pigs come out on top because they're the more intelligent animals. So it ends with the pigs walking on their back legs and dressed in human clothes in a room negotiating with the humans. And the animals are outside and they look from pig to human, human to pig, and in the end they can't tell the difference. Now this is the problem I see with politics, that we definitely need a change. We know that, you know, basically the politicians are not acting in our best interests. I mean, it should be crystal clear to anybody, really. I wouldn't have thought that was controversial. They're just not doing the things we want. And so, you know, we think, oh well, we'll get another party in there. And I think that it would be okay, you know, there'd be something done at first. There'd be a big fanfare and this and that would happen. And perhaps we've already seen this over in America with Trump. But what has really changed? Has the world really got any better for the presence of Trump in the White House? I mean, it seems to have got a damn sight more dangerous in some ways. But leaving the details aside of that, I feel that it would be rather similar here. That there might be the appearance of something happening, a bit of a show put on, but in the background all the old agendas would carry on as usual. So my thinking behind making England good again is that we need basically citizens to have more integrity, to basically not allow themselves to be weaponised by, I don't think it's too extreme to call them evil forces, against their own people. We need to hold, we can't necessarily hold the politicians to account, they're too far above us. You know, we shout out in a crowd or on a show or whatever it is, or write a letter to our MP, we can just be disregarded. But it's harder to be disregarded by our peers, and this is where it needs to start. We need to start questioning what our peers are doing, the orders that, you know, they dish out, or all the crap that, you know, comes with the daily life. We need to start getting more discriminating, we need to be asking questions, we need to be thinking. What goes on in other countries, we can't really do much about that at the moment. I mean, there are appalling things going on, but we can't even be sure of them, because you can go on the media and you can find totally contradictory stories. We have no way of knowing what is true. There is so much AI operating out there, so many YouTube channels which seem to be AI voiceovers. I mean, they definitely are. You can tell when it's AI because it talks bollocks, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it gets into sort of poetic stuff. It's just not like a human being. But I think we're going to get more and more of that. It's become very noticeable of late. So reliable information is hard to come across. So we do actually need to come back to ourselves and to come back to our immediate situation and to work a bit harder there. Now, one thing that has struck me over the last few years is when people have a firm opinion of something, they may not necessarily have the evidence to back it up. They may claim to have read this and that and the other, and there's almost this attempting to win a discussion. It's almost like a competition. I've found that basically it's asking questions which is the most effective way to make people justify what they believe, what they're telling you, what their truths are. You can do this gently, you don't need to be aggressive. It does absolutely no good, as far as I can see, simply to try to bludgeon people with your opinions. And I hope I'm not bludgeoning you with my opinions here. I mean, obviously you can just switch me off if you don't like my opinions. I mean, unlike Groucho Marx, I don't have other principles if you don't like these ones. I believe what I am saying. I think this is the way forward, that the only way to a better way of life is for people to become better, and better means for people to become good, basically. And I think the golden rule, which I've mentioned in all previous videos, which is linked to integrity, which is linked to empathy, I think this is the means by which we do it, and it's the means by which we can all do it. There's no excuse, we can all do it. We can't all have the ear of those in power, or we can't all have a platform, but if we want to do something, that's where we start. So, make England good again.